Yo, what's up, folks? And welcome to another episode of the Bate Escape. In today's episode, I'm chatting with the one, the only, the milking coach. We talk a lot about masturbation, growing up gay, and eating your own cum. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the episode.
What up?
Yo, what's going on, coach?
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Nice. I like that. I feel like this conversation is a long time coming.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I like
Have
your
we
headphones.
started or were you gonna do like a countdown or something or
No,
what?
bro, we chatting. We're doing the
Oh
damn
shit.
thing.
Okay, okay. I took a shower just for you. Look how clean I am.
I know, me too. I just hopped. I was like, I have to get up and do this chat. I was really looking forward to it. I was like, I had to clean my
Get
ass.
up. Oh my God. I wish I had your schedule. I'm like, this day is like leaving me behind. So I'm glad for the break
What, like not enough
to
hours in the day?
chat. Yeah.
You got a lot of
Not
stuff going
enough
on.
hours for dick. Huh? What?
You can say that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I do. I
It
dick
must be
around.
so good. I was online yesterday on Telegram and somebody like I was posting a bunch of nudes of mine because I'm just like fuck it, like full exposure now. And he was just like, wow, you must sit around and masturbate all day. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
kinda.
that's pretty accurate. I mean, if I'm not doing it, I'm thinking about it, talking about
Yeah.
it, taking pictures about it, video about it. I don't know. It's certainly a lifestyle. How
Mhm.
have you become used to that lifestyle?
As a baiter or milker, or both? What
I
do
mean,
you?
just as a human, like you work with penis all day long. Like, what is that
Yeah.
life like?
I mean, it's amazing. I never thought that it would be my business.
Mhm.
Um, it's been a fantasy to be my business. Um, but I never thought it would be because uh, as you know from our private conversations, I was deep in Hollywood doing Hollywoody things and in the biz and kind of faking it for a while because I'm not like a schmoozer. I'm not good at blowing smoke up people's butts like you're fabulous, you're amazing. Um, so when I got out of that in 2017 when we moved back to Atlanta, I decided I'm not going to continue this whole entertainment thing. I'm going to go into a different kind of entertainment. Um, and luckily, that started paying off, selling the movies. And haven't looked back since. But yeah, it's like, it's surreal. It really is still surreal sometimes that it's like, I penis for a living. Other men's penises. If I'm not stroking it and milking it, I'm producing a show with it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a dream come true. And it's still weird. It's still like, wow, I'm really doing this. But as a
Excuse me.
baiter, I mean, I joined Bait World in 2011, and I did think I found my tribe because I didn't call myself a solo sexual back then, but that's what I was. Um, and Bay World was amazing. Um, and I found so many great people on there, met up with a lot of them in Los Angeles. And yeah, so for the past decade, 13 years, 12
Wow.
years, 12 years. Yeah,
12 years
yep,
is your life has just been focused on dicks.
yep, 100%.
I
Knocked it
mean,
out. It's
that's pretty
crazy.
great. No, it is crazy. I was talking to a friend and we had private conversations and I'm going through like a really interesting phase in my life. But I now have like this abundant opportunity and I'm just sitting around and I'm thinking, well, what can I really create with this? Like what I really want to do. Um, and I just feel like it's like a natural progression to like continue to evolve something that you're already so good at and passionate about. I was reading
Mhm,
or I was scrolling through TikTok and I think they were interviewing Erica Badu and they were just like, just find that thing that you're really good at and then just like
mhm,
make it the best. And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna make masturbation the best that it could possibly be. I think that's really what I've enjoyed the past couple of years. And I don't know. It feels right to be doing this type of work.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, but it's also work. I mean, as much fun as it is,
yes,
putting yourself out there is huge. Um,
yes.
a lot of people can't do that, for many, many different reasons. And, once you get going, once you build that beast, ha ha ha, pun intended, you got to keep feeding it, right? Like you got to, once you
Yeah,
have the audience, once you have the followers, you got to keep it up. You got to um, keep going, which is fun, but yeah, it's also it's work too,
yeah,
for sure.
no, yeah, no, it is definitely work. I had a really great time working with you, like on the Bait Off, this past Bait Off with Colby Jacks, the winner of the
Yes.
second annual Bait Off series. I just thought that was so great. Like you were showcasing so many new up and coming baiters, and I really, really enjoyed the intention and like the community really got involved. How
Mhm.
do you see that series or other things that you're working on expanding into like the beta universe?
Well, first of all, thank you because you steered me towards a couple of those baiters that I weren't aware of, that I wasn't aware of at the time. So thank you for that. Um, yeah, I mean, this was the second year, so we kind of knew what we were doing as opposed to last year when it was all like new and new concept, not just for us, but I think for the masturbation community as a whole,
Mhm,
a competition series. Um, and I mean, I actually got emotional on the finale because these guys are just, these baiters are just one of a kind each. And together, I think the show showed how all these different styles of baiting, all these different types of baiters could really um, like showcase and enhance the masturbation world
mhm,
because of the openness of it, the camaraderie of it, more so this cast. Um, they were definitely supporting each other from the get-go. We had
yeah,
a few Zooms in the beginning and they were like cheerleaders of each other, which is great. You hope for that, but you can't make that happen. It has to happen organically. And they were really supportive of each other, which I think is the biggest plus about the masturbation community as a whole. Um, and they brought out their unique styles, and I'm so proud of each of them because they all like had a huge showcase at one or multiple times during the show. Um, and like I go back looking at videos that they made before the bait off and then following their track through the show and then after. And with some of them, it's like, wow, like uh plant that's bloomed, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That was there, but just opened so much wider.
yeah.
Um and really put themselves out there and they did just amazing.
Hmm. It's interesting to get your perspective from like your upbringing. Like, I don't know what your sexual education was like or your sexual awakening was like, but as a baiter, to see it now be so commercialized and so mainstream, I personally think it is because I'm the person that's like in it. I'm watching masturbation be talked about in mainstream media and you have all of these resources that you can really read and you have social media where you can get educated on the benefits of masturbation. um
Mhm.
how is that different from when you were growing up and trying to find your own sexual education resources?
Well, I was born quite a while ago. I'm an old fart. Um,
You know, you're a
so
hot
I mean, it
dad.
was. I'm definitely in that daddy territory. So yeah, I was raised here in Atlanta in the South. Um, and I think in my family, it just sex wasn't talked about. It just wasn't discussed. So I learned a lot from a cousin of
Hmm,
mine and started exploring masturbation pretty early, 10 years old, I think.
hmm.
Um, and then my first ejaculation at 11 was really eye opening, you know. And
Yes.
it wasn't until after that that I got to talk with my dad. And my dad was like, it's perfectly natural for you to masturbate. I was like, yeah, I know. I've been doing it for quite some time. I didn't say that, but in my head, I was like, yeah, Dad, yeah, yeah, I
I
know,
mean,
I know.
that's a pretty
Um,
cool dad to have that conversation and be like, yeah, knock yourself out.
well, yeah. So what brought the chat on was that I was caught by
Nice.
my stepmom.
Ah,
So yeah, so that's I don't know if the talk would have happened
sure.
like at 11. I don't remember how old I was when I was caught. 12, maybe 13. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I was caught. So then he was like, "Now just be careful where you do it. Be
Got it.
discreet." you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, uh, and then yeah, like my high school years were pretty um informative because that's when I started really masturbating other guys.
Mm.
I went to boarding school in upstate New York, and you know, um, I I kind of have this gift of getting any man out of their pants. Like
How do you do
that's
that?
that's my super. It's the way I talk. It's the way I get them to trust me. Like,
Yeah,
but your
I feel like you're a
girlfriend
pretty
doesn't.
trusting individual. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have that aura about you. Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, so I had like, this could be a whole porn story, but I had tons of experiences masturbating the older guys. So I was, as a freshman, I always liked older guys. So I would jerk off um, seniors. My freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and then when I was a senior, there was really no one for me to play with because all the older guys were gone. But
Right.
yeah, boarding school was incredible, and I got away with some shit that I can't believe I got away with. Like, I didn't call it milking back then. I called it long stroking because I would,
Uh-huh.
you know, uh, take matters in my hands for a longer time than what they were used to.
Oh, I
Um,
see, I see. Yeah.
but I would jerk them off in the dorm showers, which were like, if you opened up the bathroom door, the shower's right there. Like, it's a wall of showers, no stalls or anything. It's all a wall. So we could have
Yeah.
been caught like at any time, but I was good about like, I know at 4:30, these guys are going to be at sports. The dorm masters are going to be,
Wow.
coaching. I knew when the dorm was going to, yeah. So if I went back, like, I would do so much more, knowing what I know now, like with what I got away with. I'm like, oh, I could have done so much more. So yeah, that's Coach Origin's story is stroking seniors in the shower.
That's a really interesting story.
I wrote a
Um,
blog about it on Bait World years ago, and it did get like, I want more. I want to hear all about the other. Like, I
yeah.
think that fantasy is, yeah.
So then once you got out of boarding school, college,
hmm hmm
you still stroking older guys then?
No, in college. So I guess you could say I was bisexual during the college years because I had a girlfriend at college and a boyfriend here in Atlanta, home.
Mm.
So I did stroke a couple guys, but they were like my age or a year older. Just that's what was available. I was a theater kid, and you know, theater kids do
Crazy.
anything with each other. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Theater kids are insane. Next level.
Insane, like orgies every night, like crazy.
Yeah.
So with the boyfriend, because men are much more jealous than women are, FYI. My girlfriend knew about my boyfriend. My boyfriend suspected but did not know about the girlfriend, was just constantly on me. It was crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, college was fun. Yeah, yeah, crazy. I didn't milk as much as like bucket orgies or you know
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yep.
Bucket orgies. What's a bucket orgy?
No, fucked it orgies.
Oh, got it.
Have orgies, not stroking as much as fucking. Yeah.
Gotcha. Orgies are
But
cool.
a bucket orgy could be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, what do
Just
you do?
aim
You
it in
just
a bucket.
yeah, do you just milk a bunch of men in a bucket? What happens to that
I
once
have done
everyone's
that.
done? What, you
Yeah,
milked
yeah,
yourself in a
done that
bucket?
for sure. Other guys.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what happens to the bucket stuff?
Well, they wanted me to drink it. I'm really not into drinking. I can drink cum from the faucet. Like that's hot because it's still warm.
Yeah, from the
But
source.
like from the source, but I can't, I call it faucet source, whatever. I can't drink cum that's like even a
Just
little bit cold. Do you know what I mean? Like it has to be fresh. It has
yeah,
to
because
be completely,
I
I
yeah,
can't do, and I always say I'm gonna do it, like I'm
mhm,
gonna eat my own cum, but then I'm
yeah.
like, after I'm done, I'm like, no way, because it's like already
It's funny.
cooling
I get
down.
a lot of people always asking me, like, do you enjoy eating your own cum? And I gotta say, I don't. I remember like when I was in high school, always jerking off. And then I would always jerk off like in the showers, before school. So it was like 6 in the morning because I like everyone was like up and at 'em at that time. And I remember being like jerking off, coming. I'm like, I'm gonna taste it this time. And I did, and I don't know why it was so bad. Maybe it was like my diet at that time, but it was so bitter, and I was so turned off from it. And I was like, I'm never eating cum again. But the thing that I was going to say about cum from the source is that like you're right, it's leaving the body, so it's like it's still like it's like a texture thing for me. Like it's still like
Yeah,
it still kind of like has that like it still like holds its shape, and it is warm. I think when it comes just to kind of like out of the body and kind of sitting around, it just kind of like turns into a watery gooey mess. It's not fun.
yeah. It's not fun. And now I don't do oral per se. I'm not
Hmm.
really into oral, and
Hmm.
I kind of have a medical reason for that, which is kind of boring. But uh,
To get it or to give it?
I get it.
Okay,
So I will, when someone is close, I will, you know, uh, drink it from the source, but I don't blow guys really.
got it.
So and I love pre-cum. Pre-cum, I like
I wish I
guys who
pre-came
produce a
more.
lot of pre-cum are my favorite. Huh?
I know, I get so jealous. Like I see these guys just like gushing. Like they'll look at a picture of a dick and they already have a wet spot, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't pre-cum at all.
I do a lot when I'm milking because I'm so turned on. So my shorts at the end of a milking session look like I peed my pants because I leak a lot.
That's hot. So you're just like full on raging boner where you're just like milking this dude.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily raging. It is sometimes, but I'm so into it. I'm so into the milking that it just flows out of me. Like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
surprised sometimes. I'm like, wow, I pre-cum a lot, you know? It's hot and it's also like, wow, crazy.
Well, what's your
Yeah.
favorite thing about milking?
The connection. It's the
Hmm.
connection with the guys, the bulls, excuse me.
Hmm.
Um uh it's the trust that they have in me um to take care of them, and I'm using air quotes when I say that, but um, I'm not really, and you know this about me, I'm not really the most sadistic dom out there. I'm
Yeah.
what you call more of a caring dom. Um, I like to keep the bulls close, like if they're leaning into my chest, I love that feeling, that connection.
Yeah.
Means a lot to me, and that kind of goes with the whole coach vibe.
Is that your love?
Um,
Is that your love language? Like physical touch?
yeah, yeah, but it's also like it's gonna sound so tutti frutti, but it's like the aura of it, like the bubble we put ourselves in because it's so intimate. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
it's definitely a form of sex. So we are having sex,
totally.
but it's like it's um it's that feeling, it's the vibe,
Yeah.
that's what really gets me, because I've
Yeah.
met so many dicks cut, big dicks don't impress me really. I mean, they're fun, but like someone says, "Hey, I have a big dick, you should," I'm like, yeah, been there, done that many times. Like
Yeah.
what really gets me is like if there's a connection there, even with the porn guy, you know,
Yeah.
I've experienced some really amazing connections and haven't with others. So, but yeah, that's my favorite part. And then of course the cock, which I've always been obsessed with. Like even before I knew the word gay, I've always been obsessed with cock, like all the shapes, all the stages. I love soft dick. I love simmies. I love it all. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Dicks are
about cocks I don't like.
it's true. Dicks are really cool. They're just really interesting to look at. They're also differently shaped.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, for
Like
sure.
they're also nuanced and like, yeah, I don't know.
When I
They're-
was young, my grandmother had a book, I forgot the name. I think it was like the Book of Sex or whatever, but it showed like different ages of men, like from teenagers to like 30s or whatever. Or no, they were daddies in there too. And it's
Mhm.
not like a porn book, it's more like of a written with like medical terms, the penis, the scrotum, the perineum, which a lot of guys like
Yeah.
for me to use, even though my word is cock for sure. Um, but like I remember seeing the different stages of erection and the different sizes and the colors and the all that. And I was like, oh man. And now it's my life's work. So
So
wow.
if there is an inquiring penis out there, how does one become a bull of yours?
Well, because it's a business for me, the selling
Yeah.
of the videos on the fan
Yeah.
sites and all that,
Yeah.
they would, if they're new, they would have to agree to be being filmed and to fill out the consent forms for the fan platforms.
Mhm.
Um, it can be anonymous, their head can be covered, but they have to consent to being filmed. There are exceptions. If I'm like really turned on by them, like, we can do that privately. Um, but for the most part, yeah, they have to be agree to be filmed.
Mhm.
You know me, I like hair. I'm not great with naturally smooth is good, is fine,
Yeah.
but smooth guys with some pubes and pits, I don't, the shaved look, I can't do. So at least pubes. They can be
Okay.
trimmed pubes, but I need hair down there. I know I'm really picky
No,
like that.
I agree. I feel like when I start to reference people that have no pubic hair, especially men identifying, yeah, I think I need the hair too, even if it is like a little buzzed, or just like a nice little shape.
Yeah,
You know, a landing
yeah.
strip works well for me. Yeah, get your freak on. I like that too.
Stubble, I can't do. I just can't.
Well,
Um,
yeah, it's
but like I
double.
said, a lot of guys have naturally smooth chests, and that's fine if that's,
Yeah.
but shaved chest,
Hmm.
oh, no way. What else do they need to? Um, that's really it. That's really the only. Oh, and they need to save their load for at least 3 days before they see me. That's
At
not too
least
bad, is it? That's not too strict.
3 days minimum.
Yeah.
For a
Well,
Bator?
2 to
That's
3
hard as
days.
fuck.
Two minimum, at least 3 if they can.
Oh my God, I'd be dying.
Well, I get a lot of them to edge so that they can, you know, handle the horniness that way, just not come. And then that's even hotter when they get on my table because, you know, they have a saved up load and they're frustrated and ready to burst.
Yeah, they're all edged up and ready for you.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish.
I still want to go and be your assistant. I just want to be in the background and like watch how the magic is made.
Well, so I do have a couple of bulls that help out with nips sometimes. Just because there are a few bulls who like to watch other sessions. So I'll let guys watch like in the corner, they can jerk off.
That's hot.
And then yeah. And then with some of them, if I have a guy who has a bull who has really sensitive nips, they can help me out with that because I'm so cock centric or cock and
Yeah.
prostate centric.
Yeah.
Although I've been doing a lot of nip work this year with guys, because I've worked with several who from nip play, and I love that. So I've done
Nice.
several. When I was in New York earlier this year, I did a ton of nip play. But yeah, I only have 2 hands, so if something else needs to be taken care of, I'm fine with some extra hands. It's really hot too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Just fly on down here. Help out.
Well, I mean, shit. I have all
My
this free
intern.
time in my hands. Yeah, your penis intern.
My cock turn. Yeah.
Your-
Well, I call the non-porn guys my cock stars
Oh,
because
that's
they're
nice.
local. Yeah. So my local bulls who don't do porn, I call them my cock stars. They
Oh, I
love it.
see. So you take on clients privately. Like you're not always just smoking for the camera. You also milk men who
No,
don't
no,
want to
no.
be on camera.
Sometimes, but most of them are on camera. I film with them. I film with
Okay.
my bulls, my local bulls.
Well, do you ever get
Like
approached by?
BFB and ATL. Hmm?
Oh yeah, I know who that is. But I was
Yeah,
curious to know, like, do you ever get just randomly hit up by men that are just like, I want you to stroke me, but I don't want to be filmed.
I do, but
You don't really.
I don't really do it. No, because I don't have a ton of time for private stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and unless, like I said, like if they're like hairy, like the things I love, I'm like, all right, we'll do a try. Let's see how it goes. So that's fun sometimes, but I don't have a ton of time to do private stuff.
Yeah.
I
You're
mean, I
busy.
don't charge for a session. It's the final product that makes me money. It's the videos.
Yeah.
First Xtube and then the fan sites. Now unfortunately Xtube is gone, which sucks, but
Yeah. I miss
'cause I
X
could
too.
really, with Xtube, I could see who was watching what and what was popular and what was, people wrote like really long comments, and like I
Yeah.
really could interact with my followers. Whereas with the fan platforms, really, I get hardly any comments, although I get
Hmm.
likes, and I know I have a ton of followers, but they don't like
You know.
leave feedback. So I don't know like what's bringing them or what's like
Yeah.
other porn accounts. I get referrals from those if I worked with those guys. But for the
Mm.
most part, I'm like, I hope you like this. Here you go.
Yeah. Y'all got to be like vocal. Let coach know what you want to see.
Yeah, please tell me.
How
Just
do
don't
you?
say suck that cock, coach. Well, for me to have the content to put out there,
Oh,
you
I
know what I
see.
mean. So that's, yeah. If they don't
Yeah.
agree to be filmed, that's pretty. It's like, okay, have a
Well,
good
yeah. I
day.
mean, because you're not like making money off.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You
I'm a
gotta pay the
sex
rent.
worker, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pay that rent. I'm here for it. Yeah, I feel like make that money. I was having a conversation with Gay Hell Um,
Oh,
yeah, he was he was talking to me about all the crazy shit that's happening down in Florida. Um,
oh God, yeah. Ugh.
I know it's wild. Is anything happening around? You're in Atlanta, right?
I know. I'm like, oh God, poor Florida, but we have like a horrendous governor here.
That's what I was gonna say. What's going on in
I know,
Atlanta?
I know. Well, our governor isn't burning books, but he's letting everybody who wants one have a gun. So yeah, so you don't even have. I mean, everybody has a right to carry. So it's like insane. I
So
mean, that's
everyone in
insane.
Atlanta, you don't even know, could be just like carrying like strapped down the
Yep.
street. That is
Hmm.
wild.
And I think Atlanta is one of the top cities with mall shootings because we have a mall shooting like every month. And we're
Oh,
close to the perimeter. And Perimeter Mall for the longest time was like one of the only malls where there wasn't a shooting. And there was one in January. And I'm like, damn it, even Perimeter. I mean, it's like crazy, in the middle of the day.
yeah.
Um, and I know there's a lot of domestic violence and killings with guns at home and schools and stuff. But yeah, we have some of the. I could be wrong. I don't know the exact stats, but I think we're high in gun deaths. Um, but yeah, Florida and Georgia together, it's like, ugh. But Atlanta
Uh,
itself is pretty liberal. The big city's liberal. It's just the places around Atlanta that
oh, is there? I
are
don't know.
more red.
I've never been to Atlanta. I would love to go visit.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's hot as shit right now, but it's it's
Yeah,
it's pretty liberal.
it's so bad everywhere.
Yeah.
Makes you not want to put on any clothes, huh?
I actually have a bull who's coming to stay with me for the weekend, next weekend, and he's a nudist. And he said, Coach, do you mind if I like walk around naked when we're not filming? I'm like, no problem. But I was like, be careful because a loose dick in my house frequently, doesn't go untouched. And he's like, oh yeah, you can touch me whenever. I'm like, oh, I know. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah.
I love
So I'm
that.
probably gonna like lead him by the dick, like, let's go eat some dinner.
Oh my God. You heard it
Well, I
here,
mean,
y'all. You could walk around free balling at Coach's place.
no, naked, like he's a nudist, like nothing, wear nothing.
It's a
I
lifestyle.
just said, we
I'm
just
in.
have to make sure the dog doesn't think it's like a new big toy for him. So
Yeah, yeah. No, keep the
the
dog
dog
away.
jumping up could be a problem.
Yeah, keep the dog away from the family jewels. I do like exhibitionism. I feel like there's a certain charming quality about people who are just kind of like free with their bodies and are really comfortable and who they are. I feel like being more of an exhibitionist or kind of like tapping into that side of myself has been really healing. It's certainly been really cathartic. Just to like not have to apologize for what you look like. Like this is who I am. This is how my body hair grows. This is the shape of who I am. And um, I don't know. I personally believe all bodies are beautiful.
Yeah, I think, well, and that's another thing about masturbators is I think, you know, I did a healthy friction right before I moved back. So it's like 2017. And I did the first Bait World Cock Summit. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna have to get naked in front of people because I'm not like, my whole scene is CM in him, clothed male, naked male. That's my fetish. That's the other thing I love about milking. Um, so
Oh,
I'm
that
not
it that
really a
it turn
nudist.
that it turns you on that you're clothes, but they're
Yeah,
nude. Ah,
yeah.
very
Well,
cool.
it's also a power play too, that
That's true.
connotes
Yes.
the
Yes.
power.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get naked in front of people. I don't know if I can handle this because I'm not an exhibit. I'm a voyeur big time.
Got it.
I mean, that's why I do what I do. But
Yeah.
uh yeah, I was like completely, especially with healthy friction, I was like, oh my God. Um, but they gave me, I was in like the main house So I
Mhm.
didn't have to get a room somewhere else. And they were like, why don't you just set up a milking area? So we set up a milking sanctuary and the guys came to me,
Oh,
it's
that's
really,
cool.
yeah, I was really busy that weekend. Crazy. But yeah, because I'm not an exhibition, I'm not a nudist at all. And I originally, when I started filming, I was not in the videos, just my hands. And
Mm.
then that kind of happened accidentally, actually. And then, yeah, now you can't
I
get rid of me.
yeah, I find that it's for me it became like just getting used to like just getting used to the side of myself on screen. I think obviously, everyone I think is their own worst critic. So you're constantly looking at
Oh
yourself and
God, yes.
you
Oh
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
all the little imperfections that no one else sees. But I was talking to a friend and I was just like, I think the only real person that's standing in your way of trying to do all these like really great sexual things is pretty much yourself. Like no one really
Mhm.
else has a problem with it. I mean, like, yeah, like um no one's making comments about my body. Like people are just like, yeah, like belly out, dick out, sun's out. Have a great fucking time.
Yeah.
Now,
But
did you
again,
take
yeah, that's the masturbation community. Like it's more accepting than I think the world at
yes.
large, or yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
You're not gonna find that in like the WeHo community. Someone cruised me on Grinder the other day and I was like, yeah, let's fuck. Like, where do you live? And he's just like, I live in WeHo. And I was like, ah, X. I was like, I don't travel to WeHo. They're just like as a general rule. And I was like, yeah, WeHo sucks. Like, why am I gonna go into that territory? Every time I go into WeHo, I get anxious. Like I'm on 10 every single time.
So
Like
I
it's
have a
horrible.
quick Grinder story. I've always said that I could not find bulls on Grinder because everybody just wants to fuck. But
Yeah.
I started using it again after like 7 years, and there are a lot of sides on there. Like
Yes.
side is now an option, and
Yeah.
there are a ton here in Atlanta. And I've actually found three bulls through Grinder in the last, how long have I been on? Like week and a half. So that's
I was
wild to
I was
me.
gonna say,
Like
I was like, I'm sure that the
crazy.
landscape has completely changed in those 7 years for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend and they were just like, what is this side thing? And I was just like, it's this new term. It's like I really love that sex continues to evolve and find different ways to be super inclusive. I was gonna ask you, I was gonna ask you about um like body differences when you choose your bulls. Like is that something that you're conscious of? Is that a conversation that you're having with people about like, hey, I should be showcasing like different like body types and like ethnicities, and like how important is inclusivity to you in your work?
Well, it's very important. I think it's sometimes hard because there are groups or ethnicities that I've tried to find,
Uh-huh.
um, and it's not as easy in Atlanta as it is in LA. So when I was in LA and milking, it was very diverse. Um, I had a lot more Asian bulls,
Hmm.
and um, I it's harder here in Atlanta to find that, but I'm also um, working with a lot more black guys, which is amazing, and
Yeah.
uncut guys, which I can't get enough of. But they're in the U.S. it's like that's there are not as many. So I need to go to Europe. I need to go to London for some uncut goodness. But
No,
yeah, I love
you just got to come to
bears.
LA. You got to get all the Mexican boys out here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta. What was I gonna say? Oh, like I love milking like bears. I was kind of reticent with twinks because I think I had my own bias about twinks, like
Mhm.
you know, bitchy, um, all shaved, all smooth. That's it.
Yeah.
And they are smooth, but I met some really nice ones who were very politically astute, well read. Like I was like, oh, okay, so not all tweaks are, like
Yeah.
little bitches and pressing around. That was my own bias, but yeah, I've had good experience so far. So yeah,
No,
inclusivity
that's
is very important.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's good not to like generalize a whole population of
Yeah.
twinks.
Yeah, I
I
know
mean,
that's bad.
I've certainly met some really cool twinks. Yeah,
Well, I think
twinks
just
are good.
because my history is really idolizing older men and older guys, but I'm older now, so I've got to
Yeah.
look back a little bit.
Well, what is it about older men that you found more attractive?
Well, like, so my mom uh was like a legendary party thrower, and she would have these huge holiday parties, and um uh with tons of guests, and I would really never really fit in with my own age. Like, kids used to make fun of me, and I always thought they were dumb idiots. So I always hung out with the adults. I never
Mm,
sat at the kids table. And my mom's friends especially uh always chatted with me or talked to me like I was an adult, like not like talk down to me, but
yeah,
like talk to me, not at me.
yeah.
And I think that was when I realized, like, I have a real connection with older men.
Mm,
And I like the wisdom. You know, it's less fumbling around with an older gent. Uh, so yeah.
yeah. I think there's something to be said about young boys admiring older males, and I don't think that's something that women can really relate to. It's just so specific to men. And this idea, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience. When you're a young boy, you're just kind of like figuring out who you are as a male, and so then you begin to be puberty strikes, and you start to, your body starts to change, and you start to like nurture all these male qualities about you. And
Mhm.
it's, I don't know, like I grew up with an absentee father. And there's something to be said about having like a father figure in your life for young men. I know that's not possible for everybody, but
That you understand what it's like for younger men to look up to older men, or
yeah,
yeah,
because I feel like I've always wanted to have
and then
that. Like I
fetishize
just,
that.
yeah, because I just never had it. Like, and it just seems so foreign to me. So when I do see it, like when I see men have really great relationships with their fathers, I find it really attractive. And not like in an incest or sexual type of way, but like just
Right,
kind of
right,
like
right.
a
But
a very like a guiding force to say like
mhm.
our journey or our lifestyles as men is so unique to us, and like you benefit from someone that's like has those years of experience to say, hey, listen, you're going to go through all these things and it's going to feel weird, and this is what you really can do to kind of help navigate those things.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I romanticize that a little too much in my life.
But well, no, I mean, I did a lot. I mean, I romanticized that a lot, especially in boarding school, because all the dorm masters were men. Um, that we had maybe three or four female teachers, but it was all men.
Mm,
Um, and upstate New York, that's New England, so they were always in a bow tie and a suit, and then you would see them change into gym clothes, and they were your coach. So it was like mentorship throughout the whole. It wasn't just classroom; it was physical fitness and all that. I mean, mentors. I've had a few, um, and I mean, I've always just been drawn to that, like that older hand, basically. So yeah. So I love milking daddies. Let's
I
bring
love
it all back to me. I love milking daddies.
no, I mean, oh, I love that you love milking daddies. I feel like just yeah, like I for me the perspective of like liking older men is that, like, not having access to an older man of growing up, and now kind of going for that as I've gotten older. But I feel like I'm a dad now, kind of sort of. So it's like
Yeah.
trying to teach myself, and
Well, do you have a type? I mean, do you have a type of guy that you tend to um go for? Like, do
that's
you
an
have an ideal? It doesn't every no, not everybody has to meet your ideal, but is there,
yeah.
like, if you had your druthers, what would be? what would be your
I feel
type?
like
I'm
I've gotten
curious.
asked that question, and I'm always just like, I don't know. Like my answer is always, I'll know it when I see it. Because when I think
Mm,
back on all the guys that I've like hooked up with, that I'm currently talking to, or that I've currently talked to, they're also different across the board. They're really young, they're older, they're daddies, they're uncles, they're midlife, they're black, they're Hispanic, they're white, they're Asian. Um, it's just, I don't know. I think for me, more than anything, it really is just like a vibe. Like if the
mhm.
chemistry is there, like I remember when I was in my early 20s, I think you're a little superficial, more superficial when you're younger, and it's all about, looks and, are they cute? Are they hot? Like, what are they looking like? But as I've gotten older, I'm just like, no, I'm not really paid attention to what people look like, but rather like if I close my eyes and I feel, an energy from you, that's what I'm most attracted to. Not does it really, maybe there's a word for that, where you're attracted to someone's energy. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it, but yeah.
I don't know what I
Like
call it
like,
answer.
my requirement is hair. I mean, it just you have to have hair.
Sure, I like hair, yeah, but I don't that I don't deny anyone on the basis of not having hair. I
Oh,
feel also
yeah, I
too
do.
like I
I deny the hairless. No, I'm just kidding.
you're like take off your
I
shirt. Um,
right.
I feel
Let
like
me
I
count the follicles.
yeah, exactly. I also feel like I'm definitely on like the demisexual spectrum. Do you know what demisexual is?
I don't. Please
It's
educate
some
me.
yeah, so demisexual means that you have a sexual attraction to someone that you're more intimately connected with. So like you can
Oh,
only
okay,
really have
okay.
sex with them if you like really feel them, if you have a connection, if you're talking, if you vibe, if everything's on the up and up. But that's I think that for me focuses more when I'm going into like relationships, like more long-term relationships. I mean, I can certainly hook up at a
Mhm.
bathhouse. It's not a problem for me, but if I'm gonna be spending that much time with you, I just want to make sure that I really like you because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like a lot of people. I find most everyone annoying. I just want to make sure that you're not gonna annoy the fuck out of me in bed.
Got it, got it. Okay, good. See, I think for me, I'm so lucky to have a husband who I'm celebrating 30 years with in a couple months. But um like that grounds me so I don't think about like I did have an affair with a bull for about 6 months years ago, but that was different. But I don't like typically though, I don't think about like um long term except to be like a regular bull, who I see often.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty lucky that way that I don't have to like um I don't get as emotionally involved. I mean, I do because I'm doing what I'm doing. Like it's very intimate and
Sure.
I'm not a cold person. I'm very loving, in fact, and I'm generous of my spirit. So there's that, but I don't get like, um I understand what you're saying, but I'm so glad I don't have to like if I were single, I don't know what I'd be like, yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
a mess.
It's
I would be a
hard. I
total
mean,
mess.
dating is
Yeah.
hard, but I think
Especially in LA, my God.
oh, LA's the fucking worst. Like,
Woo.
good luck. Good luck dating in LA. I don't know. Well, first and foremost, I don't believe in marriage. Like, for me personally, I just think it's really archaic, and I don't believe in a lot of traditional things. So marriage is not on the table for me. So that's excluded a lot of men from my life, which is totally fine. I think I've just given up on the idea of like trying to find like this one person, or like trying to settle. I think I worked really hard to deconstruct these ideas that I grew up with of like having to find this one person and having a family, and like that's kind of like your goal in life. I
Mhm.
don't know, like I've just always been free thinking in them. Like even when I was younger, it got me into a lot of trouble because I was just like the unusual. Like I was always just a freak. Like I was always so excited by these other things that people or kids my age weren't thinking about. Like people were out having sex, and I was climbing trees looking for aliens.
And
And
I was
so
milking the aliens. Yeah.
Right. Well, we got some on Earth now, so you might be lucky finding one in Atlanta.
Right. God.
But listen, people, I love love. So like if people find each other and they want to make that commitment to one another,
Yeah. Yeah.
my dick is out for you. I'll blow a load in your honor for sure. Wait, I was gonna ask, how does your husband feel about you milking these men?
He's
Does he get
fine.
to
I mean,
watch? Does he get to join in the fun or no?
he's watched um one session actually.
Live?
And it was someone from the first cast of Bator. I'll have you guess. Um, but he's not. So he's the. My husband's like a Bator. Like he he likes to. He doesn't edge himself, but he likes to come like 4 or 5 times in a row. So he'll like spank it like doom doom doom. He loves that, and it's interesting. When we first moved to LA, we had a 1 bedroom apartment. And I used to read like all these fantasies on Bait World, like, wouldn't it be great to live in a bait house where all you did was masturbate? And that's actually what we had. We would drop trout at any second, any time, no matter what we were doing. And we had a very small space, so I could be in the kitchen jerking off, and he could be in the bedroom, and then we'd like, walk around jerking our dicks. Which is
Nice.
hilarious. I mean, it's yeah. So I do live in a bait house.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's edging bores him, milking bores him. I've milked him a couple of times where, I actually brought him down to my dugout, um, uh, strapped him up to the bed, which he actually loved. He didn't realize he would like that, but he hasn't done it since. He was like, "Oh my God." And afterwards he's like, "Thanks, coach." I mean, we got into it. Um,
That's hot.
um, but yeah, he's fine, especially when I started making money. He's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, all
Yeah.
right, awesome. Go for it. I'm
I'd be the
excited."
same, but I'd be like, congrats, babe. We'll go out to dinner and
But
celebrate.
and we have a house so that the bulls can come to the back, and it's a separate entrance. And but he's met a few of the porn guys and has had some crushes.
I
He
mean, that's
loved Alex Hawk. Totally fell like, oh my God.
I feel
Yeah,
like that's
so he
part of the
likes to
I feel like it's
do
part of the
that.
work perk.
Yeah.
You get to bring
But
home
he's
sexy
also,
guys.
yeah, he's deaf, so he doesn't have to hear anything if he doesn't want to.
Oh, that's so
So
nice.
yeah.
So you can get as loud
Hey,
as
you
you
can't
want
you
to.
can't live with me for 30 years and not be able to turn off your hearing aids. You'd go nuts. Can you imagine living with me for 30 years? 30 years.
I can't imagine living
30.
with anyone for that long amount of time.
I know. I'm like, I had like I worked in college so I could have like a single room, like no roommate. I was
Yeah.
always very independent. Like I'm never gonna do a like long-term boyfriend, never gonna give nothing. And then we met 3 months after I graduated, and he moved in a week after. So like total lesbians. Like, yeah, 30 years.
Wait, where did y'all meet in Atlanta? In
Yeah,
LA?
at a
In
bar.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
At a
in
bar.
Atlanta. Yeah. We didn't move to LA until 99.
That's so romantic. Did you like eye each other from across the room?
I didn't tell you this story.
No. I think our
Ooh.
listeners would like to know.
So I kind of stole him from an ex of mine.
Ooh.
My ex wanted to introduce me to this guy he'd gone on 3 dates with. And I walked into the bar to meet him. My ex was not around. But I went up these stairs, and this is what a bar that used to be called Burkhart's. It's now the Atlanta Eagle. The Atlanta Eagle took over, so now it's a big leather bar. But back then, there was at top of the staircase there were like these stools, like along the banister, and he was at a stool. And I never used like a pickup line. I'd never done that. And I looked at him. I was like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Can I get you a beer?" And he looked at me like with like a half full beer. He was like, sure."
Nice. Nice
And
move,
came
coach.
back, came back from the bar. And of course my ex was right there. So he's like, "Oh, this is the guy I wanted you to meet." I was like, "God damn it." but it was lightning. It was scary as shit. Like as soon as I saw him, I was like struck. So it
What does that
happens,
what
and
does
I've
that
never.
feel like?
It's scary as shit. It's scary because you're
That's so
like, I have to
terrifying
be
to
with
me.
him. It's scary as shit. And my ex saw it. He saw what was happening, and
The
like
spark.
they had only been on 3 dates, so he was like, cool, go for it. But I like to say I stole him from my ex.
Yeah, you did. You walked in there with that great beer line and he was hooked.
A
Blind.
wonderful beer line when he had a beer. It's great.
You can never have too
Ah,
many beers.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
what is on the horizon for Milk and Coach? Like, how do you see that expanding your business? What are some cool things you're working on?
So I'm doing a lot more traveling
Cool.
to meet more guys. I mean, most of them are in the porn industry. Um, I feel like kind of tapped out in the Atlanta guys. Like, that feeling where it's like, okay, like they don't want to come back after one session, or they're just like total flakes. Like,
Hmm.
I don't have a lot of patience with that. Like,
I know you
yeah.
don't.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, been traveling. I've been doing more collaborations with other DOMs, like tag teaming, or I worked with this great roper in New York who's like, his work is like his roping is art. It's incredible. Like, I admire roping, but I have no talent in it or patience. But I love
Yeah.
his work, and it was so great to work with him. Like I would love to team up with guys or other DOMs who have different skills, because that's always so much fun. Like, seeing what they do while I'm doing what I do, and like, um, trying out each other's stuff, like
Yeah.
really finding a tag team partner is like just as important as a bull. You got to have that kind of wordless communication going on, like just go with the flow. And I've been really lucky with some great partners. Um, so I'm doing more like themed stuff. Like August for Melkin Coach is, I have 3 dungeon scenes. One's a 2-parter, so it's going to be Dungeon August.
Yeah.
Again with our friend Colby Jack. Um, and that'll be fun. And I'm traveling. I have some stuff coming up, so I'm going to do some different collaborations. Um, I made in 2021. I made 2 like full movies, meaning they have 4 scenes each. I
Oh,
want to do
cool.
more of those. Yeah, with like a cast, and do like several scenes.
Oh, that's really
Um,
cool.
yeah. So
Well,
trying
you
to.
just had a scene drop with Colby today.
Yes,
It's called Colby's
Colby's
Dream.
dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really pretty. Did you see
He,
the treatment that he did on the picture? He looks so cool. He's so
so
good at that.
he's like an artist. Like,
Yeah.
he like all the stuff we did for Hansy uh, with the Hitchhiker, which was our first movie we put out. Like, he
Mhm.
did all the design on that. He did these title cards, like, because we really both love retro porn.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite porn era is like late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And yeah, so he really, I mean, he's amazing. He does these cards. He's like very so talented in so many ways. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, and he makes these posters that are terrific. And yeah, he's someone to work with.
Yeah. No, he's great. And where can people follow you and watch your hot vids?
So Twitter is Malkin Coach. I put up some hot previews, sometimes full scenes, so you can get
Hmm.
a look on action. On OnlyFans and Just for Fans, it's Milky Coach. Um, OnlyFans is a little cheaper because there are less movies. They deleted like 175 of my movies, but I've got like 670 on Just for Fans. I know that because a couple of weeks ago it was 666. I was like, oh shit, I better add another one. Um, so although I do love my uh Satanist followers, I have quite a few.
Nice.
Um, Let's see, on Instagram, I'm the milking coach, because milking coach was deleted a while back. And I love making stories. Like, I'm really not good at Instagram. I'm not that consistent. I need to do more and more, but I love stories and putting music and like seeing how far I can push the button. I love doing face videos, like at the end of my scenes, just the face.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, I love doing that. I need to do more of the older scenes, give them that treatment. But yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks so much for hopping on the show and talking to me. I really enjoyed hearing all the really cool work that you're doing, continue to do. And I hope you have fun in all your really cool travels and get to touch as many dicks as your heart desires.
Well, I'm looking to come to LA soon, so hopefully we'll hook up in person.
Yeah,
Um,
you can definitely touch my dick.
we just can't drink as much as we did last time.
Oh yeah. We didn't even drink that
I
much,
love.
coach. You're a lightweight.
Well, I don't do a lot of mixed drinks at home. I'm a wine
Oh,
guy.
okay.
So
Maybe
when
that
I
was
do
some
like
for
mixed
us.
liquor, I'm like, "Ugh." But I love that I'll post it, that little drunk hug that we had, and we are so cute.
I love that because we were just like, let's get the fuck out of here. So we ended up going, where did we end up going? To the Eagle?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go. That was a good time. Well, we'll
it
definitely have
was.
to do that again when you come back to LA. And you'll be back here
Yes,
soon.
sir.
So that'll happen really,
Yep.
really quickly. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks again. I hope
Thank
everyone
you.
who's listening to this episode enjoys the conversation with Milking Coach. Please check out all of his sexy, sexy videos and continue to follow him on social media. He's going to continue to do all this really great work. And we'll see each other around, Coach.
Thanks, buddy.
All
Great
right.
talking to you.
Bye,
All right.
y'all.
Cheers.